Good evening, everyone. We will start our session 7:30 p.m. Sure. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today through Google Meet and YouTube Live. Before we begin, I kindly request all participants to please keep your microphones muted throughout the session to avoid any disturbance. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat. We will address them during the Q&A session. I am Srihari, your moderator for today's webinar on parental control, helping families stay safe in the digital world. On behalf of Avanzo Cyber Institute, I extend my heartfelt greetings to all of you. Today, children spend more time online than ever before, learning, socializing, and exploring. But along with opportunities come challenges such as inappropriate content, cyberbullying, gaming addiction, and privacy threats. This session will help us to understand how parents can guide to protect and empower their children to use the internet safely, and how parental control tools and awareness can create a secure digital environment at home. It's my honor to introduce our speaker, expert in the field of cyber safety. Our speaker today is Dr. Pattathil Dhanya Menon, India's first woman cybercrime investigator, a respected advocate for digital security and independent director. She has been instrumental in spreading cyber awareness across India, guiding parents, students, and professionals on responsible and safe digital practices. We are truly honored to have you with us today, ma'am. We now lead, we sorry, ma'am. Now invite you lead the session.
Thank you very much, Srihari, and thank you very much for the introduction also. I hope this session will definitely give you some kind of an insight to what all children can do. And, the multi-million dollar question, if you ask me, as far as children goes, is that are they actually responsible for what happens to them or what they do on this platform called cyberspace? It's very easy to actually offload the responsibility on them and to tell them that they had to be careful after an accident happens. But the question is, are they actually responsible for what is happening, or are we as the guardians of the society responsible for what happens to them? My opinion, I'll keep it for the last, but I hope all of you all can give this particular thought of this point a thought when we are actually going through the session as well. Like Mrs. Srihari said, we'll keep the questions for the end, and in case there are any questions that any of you all want to leave, please leave it in the chat box, and a moderator will definitely pick up the questions for you. Thank you very much. So starting the presentation, we're talking about protecting children in the online world. What does this mean for a child or for a parent? For a parent or for a guardian, protection of children, primarily all of us think that, our child is safe when our child is indoors. We are all concerned, or we all get worried when the child walks out of the four walls of the house. Whether the child goes out on a bicycle or travels by bus, or when the child is going to a shop nearby or goes out to play in the playground, all these situations when the child goes out of the four walls, all of us get worried about the safety of the child. But when the child is within the four walls of the house, but left with this particular gadget called mobile or laptop or tab, and that is connected to the internet, if you ask me, that is the biggest danger that the child can be left alone with. First thing is because children are overexposed to this particular landscape called digital landscape. They are born in this space. So obviously they know much more to navigate the space than any of us adults. And they're not responsible. They don't need to think about the other side of the coin at all, because they have not been taught to think about it. They have not been taught or trained to use this. None of our children have actually gone to learn this platform before they used. So I did go through the introduction actually. The entire talk today, I want to focus on the importance of having a parental control on the digital space that the children have. If you ask me, any child, once the child is born, the parent decides what the child needs to eat, where. The child is given a name, a religion, everything by the parent. The same parent gives the child the access to this particular space called digital space. We teach the child how to speak, we teach the child how to eat, but there is no teaching that goes in where we teach the child how to use the space. Instead, we just give the space to the child, and the child gets used to this particular space. So this particular aspect of bringing up the child on the digital space doesn't happen. It so happens that the child gets so immersed in the digital space as they grow by themselves, not because the parents have actually taught them. None of the parents actually have taught them, touch here, click there, double click there, this is how you go backwards from the screen. No, the child just learns it. And that is why they become masters in this particular space for navigation. Again, I'm using the word for navigation. If they were masters on how to use the space, we wouldn't be talking about the risks of using the space at all. So what is parental control? Now, a lot of questions come to me when I go to take sessions like this, both from the guardians of the society, the parents, and from the children also. Now, when we use the word control, it definitely takes a negative thing with the child, because the child says, I don't want to be controlled. Now, none of the children want to be controlled on any platform. Forget the digital space. None of us, even we didn't want controls. But being a parent, the thing is, okay, if we are, as a parent, if I have control on what my children are doing, I'm happy about it. But striking the balance between the parent and the child with the word called parental control is usually very difficult. So, are we talking about managing it properly using apps? Are we talking about a parenting psychology, or are we talking about actually the need of the entire thing today? We'll be talking about all these if you ask me. So it's not just digital management tools that are required. We need to actually talk to the children about why this particular tool should be in place. See, it is not that we should not trust our children. The question is whether we can trust our child in the environment that the child is in. If we were not talking about the environment, we wouldn't have been worried when the child is going out of our houses to play. We are not worried, whether the child will cause self-harm when the child goes out to play. We are scared about the environment there. We are scared about the people that interact with the child. We are scared about what happens. Will the child fall down? Will the child hurt himself or herself physically? Will somebody else bully the child? Actually, all these risks exist even on the digital space, within the four walls with just a small screen that the child is holding. So how can we intervene as parents? That is where certain digital tools come handy. So even when we are using the terminology called parental control or monitoring and limiting, these are all words that can be used for parents to understand, because the first need of this particular thing should be understood by the parents. No child wants to understand, or no child will agree to this. It is just like asking a child not to have ice cream or chocolates, or don't go out and play, or don't play at all. So none of the children will actually agree with these words that we're using called parental control or monitoring or limiting or anything like that. So these are the words that parents or the stakeholders of the children or the next generation need to actually clearly understand, so that they can actually work on themselves or work with the environment to strike this balanced use of technology. We can't take technology away from children. They belong to this next generation. They are all born in this technology, so we cannot take this technology away from them. Depriving the next generation of technology will be the biggest crime that we're doing to our next generation. We have to give it to them. But how do we give it? How do we make them responsible for what they're doing? This is where the balancing comes into place. And parental control actually matters basically because children or this particular digital space has something called screen addiction. You need not be playing games. Maybe somebody, I don't know if all of you all have just observed, even people who just read research material, they use their mobiles or their tabs only to read research material online. That is all. They don't use their tab for anything else. No games, no social media, nothing. But they get to their screen only to read research material. Constant use of digital space for a very concentrated purpose like reading research materials also has proven that the body or the mind asks for that time from you. So if an adult can get addicted to this particular pattern or usage of screen time, a child gets it 100 times multitude. So it's very important that we talk about parental control, because we're talking about giving good digital habits or cultivating the good digital habits among children, so that they can check on themselves when they become responsible adults. For a very long time, I have been called to address the senior students, like students in their 10th, 11th, 12th, college students and all, because that is when the habits of digital space start showing after effect, or starts showing its negative impact to the society. I won't say it's actually the negative impact starts only at that age. The negative impact starts as young as they start using it frequently or for longer periods. But the after effects that the society faces comes when they are free or to indulge themselves in the outer society. And then there comes where the society cannot handle their outrages, or the society cannot handle their digital habits or the impact of the digital habits, and then people like us are called in to actually give a reformatory speech and things like that to the children. But if you ask me, that is a little too late. So we have to start very young, so that the children are taught to understand digital safe, digital healthy habits, concepts like digital hygiene, concepts like digital time or timetable, concepts like ethical usages, concepts like what is acceptable to them, what can be acceptable to the others, and also some point of legality too. I am not again using the word morality or anything, I'm using the word ethics and legality only. So these two things definitely children need to understand from a very young age. Okay, now main features of any parental control, when you actually look at it, there are multitude of applications or parental control packages available in the market. I will quickly read through the names of the applications if anybody wants to by the end of the session. But see, we are not promoting or propagating any particular package. We are not propagating any kind of application, or we are not doing any kind of sales talk over here. Every app has its own pluses and minuses. This is a session for you all to understand basically generally what all features a parental control app needs to deliver, and of these, which are the possibilities or which are the functionalities that you should look at depending on what your child needs or what you think is best for your child. So one is content filtering. The basic risk of not having a content filtering when a child uses digital space is very, very large. See, any information is not wrong information. If you ask me, either it is inappropriate information or information that is not needed at that particular time for the person, that's all. So the information is not like useless information. No, it would be proper information if that information was gathered at the actual or rightful age. But see, we are all human beings, and even as children there is some kind of curiosity that is inborn in human beings. Anything that is taken away from them or anything that they have not seen or heard till date, they get to it, they will ask questions. They will ask for more information on that. All of us have gone through this. We have all asked at a very young age, when we were all small, why we are different from the opposite gender in a house. Like I have asked my parents, why is my brother given shorts and why am I given a petticoat? Why is it that I am not allowed to have a bath with my brothers in the open pond? I mean, in the temple pond or whatever. So all these things we have also asked as young children because we observe the changes. Now the difference between the generation now and our generation, a little more older generation, is that If ever we wanted the meaning of a word, for example, we had to ask our parents or we had to take up the dictionary. And taking up the dictionary is a huge task. I don't know if any of you all remember, the dictionary itself used to weigh around, say, 4 or 5 kgs. Bringing it down and looking through the dictionary was a Herculean task. We would, as my postpone knowing the meaning of the word rather than look through the meaning and find out the meaning. We couldn't do that at that age, unless maybe 1 or 2% of children would have gone through that effort of going through the dictionary. But now, any kind of such inquisitive terminologies or information that comes to the child just needs to explore this on search engines, on the digital space that they have, and they get 5-dimensional information. So imagine a 4-year-old who comes across some kind of information like this. I would actually talk about sexually inappropriate content, or substance abuse kind of a content which the child comes through, and the child asks why, what. Now, naturally, the parent would say, you don't need to know it now. But do you think when the child uses the adult same gadget that the adult is using, the child, we need to ask the parent the same question twice? No, we have had instances where 4-year-olds, where 7-year-olds have got into such kind of activities with their busmates, with their neighbors, with their schoolmates, because they were only curious about what they saw online on their gadgets that their parents were using. And if you think the children are not observant, then that is the biggest mistake that as an adult we can do. Children are observant, children are very, very curious, and children are very, very sharp. They are very proactive. So they proact or react to the situations that we put them in. So content filtering, age appropriate content filtering, is most important for any kind of a parental control. What a 13-year-old should know, a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old should not know. We have even come across situations where we have been asked to approve certain cartoon series, and the cartoon series talks about a 3-year-old and or a 4-year-old going through a walk, and the boys are asking the girls in the cartoon to be careful not to walk alone or go alone in an in some kind of a remote area, because the girl might be raped. Now imagine the same word a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old gets exposed to, and this word is being searched on the social media or on the browsing engines. What all could be the risk? The cartoon was made as a safety information cartoon for the children. But was this particular word advisable for a child to know? If you ask me, no. There has been issues because children know about such a thing. So what and how you communicate to a child at what age, it is very, very important. Now, location tracking is another thing that we definitely need as a parental control facility when we are talking about installing certain things on the child's gadget. We have all sneaked books to school. We have all sneaked our own, toffees or extra pencil or maybe something to school when we have gone to school. Children may also take this gadget or device when they're traveling or when they're taking to where they're supposed to take it, and they misplace it. That is one risk. Second is, if the location tracker is on and the child is not in a premises where they shouldn't take their gadget, and they have the gadget, of course, or the child is moving into an area where the child is not supposed to be at that particular time, definitely it helps. And in these times, it is very important that we know exactly where the child is, because unlike our olden times, transportation is also very easy and very approachable for anybody. Remote control is also very, I would say, advisable, because in case children have this tendency to overdo. Now, you give them 15 minutes of YouTube time, and they watch that 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes they don't shut down. All you have to do is lock it from your device. Trust me, you will not have to do it more than twice. thrice, third time, the child knows you, there is no point in going beyond 15 minutes. So the child will put the device down. This definitely brings in a habit in the children to limit the time slots available, whether it is for games or for any kind of watching online or binge watching or whatever you call it. It is very important that you have remote control as well. Otherwise, normally, like we've all done this also when we go out and play, and our mother or father used to call us to come back home. We would say 5 minutes, and that would go out to another 15-20 minutes easily. uh, Now it is like, 5 minutes goes to another 1 hour, because the child is also within probably in the seclusion of the child's room itself. So um, remote control is always advisable. Screen time management also helps the whole thing. Where after, when this practice starts off with the child as a very young child, we have also noticed that children who grow up with such limits or such limited screen time from young age, from their in their mid-teens, they learn to manage the device themselves. Then we will not actually have to control it for them. They know, they will set the limits and they manage it by themselves. It's all just a habit, how they want to spend time, whether they are able to schedule it. They will see the good things about not being on the screen all the time. Again, do not deprive your children of screen time. Give them controlled screen time, please. I'm really scared when I take such sessions to the parents, because either it is this extreme or that extreme. So do not go to the extreme where you deprive children of their digital space completely. No, but have controls, limited timetables. Sit with your child, discuss with them, talk to them, make them understand this is how it is. Now, suppose a child is again used to going about say 11 hours or 12 hours a day. Suddenly you cut it down to 15 minutes. It is not going to work. You have to reduce it. Understand, there is an addiction. You cannot get out of an addiction one fine morning. You have to cut it down gradually. Now this actually helps activity reports also. Now that is I would say it is a choice which the parent has to make, whether you want to know about what your child is doing, what exactly is happening, what websites the child is visiting, what content the child is downloading, who all the child is talking to, or who all the child. That all is again very subjective and relative to your particular needs, whether you want to do it with your child, whether your child needs that kind of a support at that particular age. That's very very that's something which each parent has to take a call. Likewise, search monitoring also. Search monitoring basically helps to understand whether the child is going overboard with the searches. It is not just about substance addiction, drug addiction, or sexual content or unwanted content like that. Search monitoring also helps us in understanding the interests of the child. Now, see, we all think we know our children very well, but the child may have his or her own innate interest in certain things, and if it's good. Now, if I can see that my child is, curious about certain paintings, or maybe some kind of music, or some kind of kind of books that, or some kind of writings, or some kind of movies, or anything. See, there is something where you can judge your child or understand your child better also if you are doing a search monitoring. So it's always not about controlling that we have the monitoring systems for. It is also a helpful tool for us to guide our children to betterment. And please understand that when I'm talking about unwanted or content, for inappropriate content for the child should not have access to content which is beyond their age, not only in a bad way, but even for things that we feel we cannot understand. Like, for example, we have had cases where children actually have an interaction with people on darknet, or with websites is residing in darknets, who talk about lot of astrophysics and something and all, and then the things that the parents cannot understand. And most of the time when we go back to investigate such attempts of suicide, or running away, or suicides itself, when we go back and do the postmortem, we understand that the child has been searching or interacting or reading or even hearing about from sites like that, which, and the parent actually knew about it, but the parent thought the child is being over academic or probably talking about things that I cannot understand, and so your child is intelligent. The child may be intelligent, but it may not be with the right person. So if your child is really interested in something that you cannot understand, look for people, physical people who can talk about it. Physically re-verify whether the person or the organization that is talking with your child about this content is authorized and is legitimate. So it's very important. So that is not telling you no information is bad or wrong, but it should be coming from the right person at the right time. Now, benefits for the parents, definitely it helps in bringing out clear boundaries around screen time, digital usage, how the child is using, what the child is getting into, and therefore you can get a lot of valuable insights. Like I said, it is not just about controlling your child about what not to know. It is also for us parents to understand what could be a child's interest, what could be the best thing that the child can go further. See, today, unlike the times that we learned in engineering or medicine, is not the only career options available. So if the child is interested in something else, they get more exposure at their fingertips. But which we should also be ready to understand what their interests are and to guide them accordingly. The responsibility of giving them the right options, giving them the right opportunities to explore the options is with us parents. No matter what happens, we have to guide them, we have to tell them. It may be it may not be of things that we really know about. Like for example, give you my own example. I do not know anything about music, but if my children want to learn music, I would definitely inquire in my surroundings who is the best music teacher. Or even if it's an online teacher, I would make a inquiry about who is the best music teacher, and I'll put my children to that music teacher. It's not because I understand music, it is because my children have the interest in music, but I'm responsible for my children to reach out to the right people to learn whatever. This applies to every area, any and all area that our children are getting into. And okay, when we have these time controls, definitely it reduces distractions. Now there's a lot of research and a lot of studies that is coming out which says everybody has gone down on their focus time. I remember we had long performances of theater, drama, or classical dances or music that we used to attend, and we have been watching them for 4 hours and 5 hours and all that. But recently, everybody has lost that focus time, including adults. So the reduction of focus time, reduction of concentrate time to concentrate, etc., are all byproducts of the screen distraction. So we need to actually give them more time, because 40 minutes of a class period that the child sits, normally even any time the child has a core focus time of 20 to 25 minutes among the 40 minutes that the period goes on. But of late, there are a lot of teachers who come back and tell us we are finding it very difficult to hold the focus of our students for more than 5 minutes. So that definitely needs to be worked on. It impacts the child when they go to work also. So even in their working time, even in their the productivity or the productive time that a human being has drastically reduced. And it's like most of them complain saying that they don't know what is happening with their 24 hours a day, because there's no family time, there's no discussion, there's no rest hours. All the time we are with the screen. So this kind of a timetabling definitely helps all of us to focus and rest. And of course, as parents, we definitely need to ensure a safe environment for our children. So blocking inappropriate content, monitoring the risks, etc. We'll be promising our next generation for a safer environment. But this has to be done major by building this trust. It is not like one one time non-negotiable kind of a thing that happens. Yes, you have to build that trust. You have to talk to your children. You have to make them understand. So you have to actually tell them that these things happen. There are a lot of issues happening, and we just want to protect you. Now, how do you tell them to drive safe or to ride their cycle safe? You tell them there are talk about accidents. You tell them about how people hurt themselves. All these things we do tell them, and nobody likes to hurt themselves. So this kind of a conversation, this kind of an exposure that the child needs about the other side of the coin is also very important. Okay, now these are the certain parental control solutions that we're talking about. Google Family Link, Apple Screen Time Monitoring, Microsoft Family Safety. Then there's a third-party apps called Custodio, Net Nanny, Norton Family. Norton is again by the very popular antivirus and firewall company. Now, router level protection is Circle, Greyphone, Hero Secure, and all that. Now, why do you need to go into this level of security? Is because now we have a lot of IoT devices also. We are just not talking about the mobile that you give to your child, or the tab that you give to your child, or the laptop that you give to your child. You are also talking about a lot of IoT devices. Now, all these IoT devices also, once connected to the internet, has a lot of scope for infiltration, for giving access to our children, and exposing our children to a lot of unwanted risks. So router level protection is something which, again, every home that has IoT devices working with them needs to think about. Now, how parental control apps helps basically from online threats, promotes digital balance, and opens communication, teaches responsibility. See, I would start from the reverse order when talking about this. Basically, I would say every human being, as they grow, they need to learn responsibility. You cannot always be the same irresponsible person. Maybe everybody's timetable is different, but at some point of time, we all have to grow up to be responsible. So we have to teach our children how they can be responsible, not just on the physical or the terrestrial terrain, on the cyberspace too. So this actually, when you help them, or when you assist them in controlling or timetabling themselves, you make them responsible for taking their decisions, for abiding by certain decisions, by going through certain policies, and all those. So, and open communication, okay, that is not my core area, but of course there is some, all the psychologists do mention about this open communication between the children and the parents also. Digital balance, it is very important that we have this kind of a balanced lifestyle for our children, where they have this physical interaction going alongside with the digital interaction. Now, most of them actually don't realize that there is a space called something that we used to call a normal world. Most of them don't. Most of the new generation, they don't even understand that there was a space like that before. So we need to actually give a balance of it, not just the the digital space at all. So protection from online threats, yes. The threats today mostly come from online platform for our children. We're talking about physical bullying. We were talking about physical bullying. You may be talking about 1% of the 20 children that 20 people that your children are used to interact per day. But today we are talking about the same percentage of at least 2,000 people who are interacting with your child every day on their social media, on their online gaming platforms. And they can actually bully your child. They can actually use your child's brain to not think appropriately. They can actually rewire the child to think in a different way that you don't want your child to think. So, and a constant bombarding of certain information definitely impacts the thought process. Online predators, they are by and large too many in number. Like, I got my President's Award in 2018 for busting 2,800 cases around 400 schools across India. The 2,800 scams. They're not simple cases. They're 2,800 scams around 400 schools in India. That's not a small number. The life impact, if you look at it, is very, very large in number. So online predators, it's very easy to hold on or catch up and get hold of our children online. All you need to say is that, probably talk to them about what they like the most. Because children do post a lot of their personal information, like what food they like the most, what is their daily itinerary, what school they go to, what subject they don't like, what are their favorite actors, colors, how do they like their friendship to be. So all these things are posted online, and sure, definitely the child predators monitor this. They know how to get to our child has posted 4 pictures of chocolate ice cream in a week. The predator knows chocolate ice cream is our child's weakness, and they get to it. It was the story before on the terrestrial platform. It still is the story online. So yes, this helps us in securing our child from online predators and online bullying. Best practices: have open conversations. Be consistent in what you're saying. See, when we give a rule to the child, see to it that we also are following certain rules. I know it's not easy, because most of the adults who are working need to have the working space online. Like, if my child came and asked me some years back, you're also on the mobile all the time. I have no choice, because I was working on the phone. This is my job. I have to sit on the phone. So what I had was, I can only give you examples of what I used with my children. I have told them, like, if I sit on the phone, I pay the bill for your pizza or biryani when we go out. You don't pay the bill, so you don't need to sit for so long. Your job today is to study and play. So do that. Play, go outside and play. These are the conversations I had with my children. It was not easy. It was not at all easy, and it was not very convincing also. Every second day, every day I feel okay. I'll tell myself, okay, today I've convinced them. Matter is over. For life, they will take care of themselves. No. Second day, they'll come back to me and again ask me, Amma, you're on the phone again. You're always on the phone. Why can't we sit on the phone? You are on the social media. Why can't we be on the social media also? So these questions will come. We'll have to sit and talk to them consistently, and we will have to have this conversation with them. And it is very important that we lead by example also on how to use these things, what all to say. We also need to show them what we post online, why we post online. So we should show the children that before we click a picture, just as an example, do we need to click that picture? Do we need to save that picture? Do we need to post that picture? Are we asking questions to ourselves? We show them we are asking questions to ourselves, they will also ask these questions. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And it has to start really early. How early? There are certain institutions or schools who ask me, uh, how early do we start this? I would say before the school starts, you have to start this kind of a timetabling, this kind of a control system. It should start from the time the child is exposed to the digital space, even as just showing them some videos for them to eat. No, even that needs to be controlled and monitored and reduced. And yes, we have to increase the time as they grow. It cannot be 15 minutes in a day for a 13-year-old and a 6 months old or a 1 year old equally. So as they grow, we have to tell them what is their responsibility, and the time also needs to be adjusted. And as they grow, even the control systems on the content that they watch or the content that they are exposed to also changes, and this needs a review all the time. It really needs a review all the time. Now, future of parental control. The question is, what is today? We have XYZ things happening on this particular platform. What happens when artificial intelligence comes into place? We have to expose our children to artificial intelligence also, because they are going to live in that particular dynamics. They are not going to go backwards, they are going forwards. So they definitely need to be exposed to artificial intelligence platforms as well. So they need to understand how much more of decision making should they do, how much more of decision making can they delegate to such platforms or delegate to certain other individuals? So all these things we will need to learn as we age or as our children grow. We definitely need to learn. We cannot say we learned something, it is over. We've done our 10th standard, so we'll not study anymore. No. Parenting, if you ask me, in today's age, definitely will or should be talking about a continual learning system, which we have to do every time. And we have to expose our children to the newest technology in the right time, in the right quantums, and with absolute controls. Now, some common challenges are that children are very resourceful these days. Children get into that kind of uninstalling their apps by themselves, or they bypass controls. But the simplest thing that I've seen is that the parents themselves give the passwords or the control systems to the child. Like the first system study that we did with parental control is that we gave it to 600 parents, asked them to install it back home. Those days, of course, the mobile phones were not there. We asked them to use it on uh, the PCs, the desktops that were there at home. And after 1 month, we called them back for a review, where all of them relentlessly wrote, "We do not know the password. We asked our child to install, and our child knows the password." I think less than 1% actually responded saying that, giving us the right results. So if your child bypasses the control, I would say your child is a little better intelligent, a little more tech savvy. Give them more to learn on the technology, and tell them, try to talk to them there of the nicer way to challenge the technology, a nicer way to utilize the technology. Then it is a cost of solution. Of course, nothing comes free. All these apps come with a cost, except I think Google Family Link actually comes free of cost for single subscription. I'm not sure about the pricing, but definitely all these comes with a cost. Then this restriction, like I said, can bring in frustration. But trust me, if you start it very young, it doesn't have that much of a problem. But if you suddenly try to put in something to a 10-year-old who's already used to 6 to 7 years of digital, 6 to 7 years and 6 to 7 or more hours of digital space daily, you try to bring in a control, definitely that rift will be there. Please have a good counselor to talk to you, talk to your children, make them feel comfortable. You also have to have that kind of a discussion where we don't, as adults, also break down with the whole thing. Yes, and ongoing maintenance is also a little thing, because we also have to learn on the go. Now, case studies is something which I can go on for a day, as far as risk to the child is concerned. Sorry, is somebody trying to talk? Okay, so can I continue? Okay, so so this is a case study where a 13-year-old boy from Kerala used the debit card, spending so much of money into app purchases. Every crime that we see in the media today has a link to social media. It's either for substance abuse, drug abuse that has come because of the digital space, or because the online game addiction that the child has, or because of the exposure to unwanted content that the child has, or because of the influence of dark web to our children. Certain kind of people who come in contact with a child because a child is using online games and is online talking to strangers, assuming that they're friends, or to social media contacts, assuming again that they're also friends. So every case you're talking about today that you see in the media has a online influence or has an online link towards it. This is the least of the issues that I would say. There are children who have applied for loan. There are children who have posted information about their home, about their parents, about their financial status, about the whereabouts, about the uh, you know uh, taken pictures, inappropriate pictures or videos in the house from the household and posted it. We see any number of issues every day, and we have seen child abduction also happening because of social media, and that's not the child's fault usually, because the profiling is done because of the parents, and it's because of the posts that the parents leave on the social media about the habits that the children have, about the whereabouts of the children, the itinerary of the children, where the child is available at what time and under what monitoring system, and etc. So we've seen a lot of such cases also. If I go about to sit to talk about the cases, I think I can go non-stop for 24 hours. So yeah, I think shift of parental control as in future in India, I would say basically smartphone adoption has been very great, especially post COVID, because till COVID at least there was a or control in the number of gadgets that every household had. Now, if a child is born, before the child decides what school the child needs to go to, child decides what smartphone the child should have for learning purposes. Because we pushed the child to the online digital space for learning itself during COVID. Now, from there, so we have to talk about something called digital well-being. We still are not talking about it. 2009 was the first time we talked about having de-addiction centers for digital addiction in India, and all of them rushed aside the whole concept, said that's not going to happen over here. And I remember people, when I talked about it, people actually ridiculed me saying that I am mad. But 2018, we officially saw lot of hospitals officially opening and inaugurating their digital de-addiction centers. Lot of prestigious hospitals opening it up. So, it just took a matter of 9 years for us to get to where we would have been otherwise. So I think we should have started working in 2009, probably as early as that, at least, so that we could have delayed this process of opening the digital de-addiction centers at least. Then, of course, local language support is technology has changed. So every person today talks about using digital spaces. Earlier, it was like people who were free, fluent or who could handle the language English were the people who were exposed to certain kinds of handsets. But now it's like it is available in every regional language, and it just has made life simpler on the digital space for everybody, which again makes it simpler for us parents also to understand and regulate the system for our children in the regional language that we are all used to. Now, yes, we will have to shift to the AI-powered monitoring or AI-powered issues that comes tomorrow. I wouldn't use the word tomorrow because, yes, AI has set into our lives since yesterday, but at least from tomorrow, we should all be ready for all these things. So, again, cybersecurity, parental control, I will just go through the thing again. Threat protection, malware detection, safe habits, and responsible sharing. These are the things that we really need to inculcate in our children. Whatever you share online needs to be very responsible. You should ask your questions about why, what, how, why we need to share this data. Should we share it to so many people? Are we ready to take this risk of sharing so much of personal information? All these questions we need to ask, which definitely helps us build safe habits. We should have a habit of detecting or understanding how a malware is functioning or a spyware functions, and we have to actually educate ourselves how to detect it all the time, and we have to monitor it as well, because spreading of a malware today is very easy. All you need to do is forward a message and you will have the malware into your system, or attend a call and hold the call for a certain amount of time, and then malware can get into your system. So all these things together definitely helps us protect threats for our children online. The government regulations which govern this particular space is Information Technology Act 2000. For our children, it is POCSO. Then Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, where the rules have come yesterday. Intermediary Guidelines 2021, which talks about what are the rules and regulations that applies to service providers. So these are there. All the laws and all are in place. It is up to us how we use it, how we understand that laws, how we use it, and how much of it are we ready to deal with. And let me tell you something, just because we do not know these acts or the rules, we cannot say we are innocent. Excuse of law, not knowing the law is not an excuse. Sorry. So we really need to understand, as every civilian, as a stakeholder to the next generation, we definitely need to be abreast of the technology. We need to have an understanding about the rules and regulations of the law. And yes, only then I think we can call ourselves responsible guardians of the society. Conclusion: empowering families, fostering responsibility, local innovation, education, educate, and do not restrict. I repeat, do not restrict your children to come online or to be online or to use the space, but please regulate, please teach them, please learn with them. With this, I will leave this forum open for questions. Anybody has
Thank,
questions, please unmute you and ask, or you can leave your questions in the chat box. Yes, Srihari?
okay, ma'am. I am going to conclude this.
No, wait, I think
Okay.
just ask if there are any
Okay,
questions.
okay, ma'am. So today's section is coming to over. So anyone have any doubts can ask now. Really,
Please unmute and ask.
unmute and ask. Any doubts about our topics? So, ma'am.
If,
So I
if,
consider as
if there is no doubt, if you have any comments about the session, also you can leave it.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, ma'am. This Anup this side.
Okay.
Uh, in fact, it was a very nice one. I mean, see, എനിക്ക് വളരെ വിഷമം തോന്നുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ there are only 13 people who are attending. It was supposed to be like more than 100 at least, and it was actually need of the hour.
Thank you so much. So we keep
Thank you.
repeating such initiatives. So when you get a chance to know about this, please convey it. People should know about this also.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. If there is a video or something like a video recording or something, then I would definitely share with my friends.
Yes, I think we have gone live on YouTube. I think Srihari will be able to help you with that. And probably we can share the link also over here where you can share the YouTube also. No problem. Thank you very much, Anu. Okay, I think there are no more questions. So I will take the opportunity first to thank the people who have joined in, and also for my team here at Avanzo Cyber Institute for making this possible, doing the background work. You know, they have been trying to promote this, giving this without this digital platform, without any kind of a glitch. So I would first take this opportunity to thank the entire team and the people who have attended it. Yes, Srihari, the floor is
yeah.
open. Back to you. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. Dhanya, ma'am, for the insightful section. And with that, we come to the close of today's session. A heartful thank you, a heartful thank you to Dr. Dhanya, ma'am, for sharing such meaningful insight on digital parenting and online safety. Sorry. I also like to thank all our participants for joining us today and being a part of this awareness initiative. And also, please take a moment to fill out the feedback form shared in this chat, and it is also been shared into your email and WhatsApp for your convenience. And also, we also sharing our WhatsApp group channel link to with it, and please join it. It is for our awareness group. Daily updates are gone through that Avanzo Cyber Security Solutions. It is basically an awareness group, so please join in that. So to know more cyber attacks and new issues going to our daily basis, we will note to the group. So thank you everyone. I'm wishing you a safe and secure digital day ahead. Thank you. Sorry, and also share our YouTube channel link to group with that emails and WhatsApp channel.